Good evening, dear students. Welcome back to my class. Let's continue our chapter, How do organisms reproduce? Dears, what we have learned in our last class? Yes, we discussed about modes of reproduction used by single organisms. We discussed only two methods, fission and fragmentation. So, let's continue the next method, regeneration. Do you know what is regeneration? Many fully differentiated organisms have the ability to give rise to new individual organism from their body parts. That is, if the individual is somehow cut or broken up into many pieces. Many of these pieces grow into separate individuals. Or in other words, we can say broken parts of the organism grow into separate individuals. Once again, broken parts of the organism grow into separate individuals. That is regeneration. Okay. For example, simple animals like Hydra and Planaria can be cut into any number of pieces and each piece grow into a complete organism. All of you look at the picture. You can easily clear the content from this picture. This is known as regeneration. Regeneration is carried out by specialized cells. These cells proliferate and make large numbers of cells. From this mass of cells, different cells undergo changes to become various cell types and tissues. These changes take place in an organized sequence referred to as development. However, regeneration is not the same as reproduction since most organisms would not normally depend on being cut up to be able to reproduce. Okay. Dears, let's discuss the next method, budding. Do you know what is budding? Organisms such as Hydra use regenerative cells for reproduction in the process of budding. In Hydra, a bud develops as an outgrowth due to repeated cell division at one specific site. These buds develop into tiny individuals and, when fully mature, detach from the parent body and become new independent individual. All of you look at the picture. This is budding in Hydra. A bud develops as an outgrowth due to repeated cell division. We can see the buds. When matured, bud gets detached from parent body. A new independent individual is formed. Okay. The next is vegetative propagation. What is vegetative propagation? It is a type of asexual reproduction in which new plants are produced from roots, stems, leaves, and buds. Since reproduction is through the vegetative parts of the plant. These are the vegetative part of a plant, root, stem, leaves, buds, etc. So, this method is known as vegetative propagation. Okay. There are many plants in which parts like the root, stem, and leaves develop into new plants under appropriate conditions. Unlike in most animals, plants can indeed use such a mode of reproduction. These are some examples of vegetative propagation, stem cutting of rose, then leaf of bryophyllum with buds in the margin. Bryophyllum has buds in the margins of leaves. If a leaf of this plant falls on a moist soil, each bud can give rise to a new plant. The roots of some plants can also give rise to a new plants. Sweet potato, dahlia are examples. There are two types of vegetative propagation, natural and artificial. Grafting, layering and cutting are some artificial vegetative propagation. The property of vegetative propagation is used in methods such as layering or grafting to grow many plants like sugarcane, roses or grapes for agricultural purposes. Plants raised by vegetative propagation can bear flowers and fruits earlier than those produced from seeds. Once more, plants raised by vegetative propagation can bear flowers and fruits earlier than those produced from seeds. Such methods also make possible the propagation of plants such as banana, orange, rose, and jasmine that have lost the capacity to produce seeds. Another advantage of vegetative propagation is all plants produced are genetically similar enough to the parent plant to have all its characteristics. Let's discuss about spore formation. Even in many simple multicellular organisms, specific reproductive parts can be identified. All of you look at the screen. What is this? Yes, bread molds. Wet a slice of bread and keep it in a cool, moist and dark place. Then we can see the thread-like structures that develop on the bread are the hyphae of the bread mold or rhizopus. They are not reproductive parts. On the other hand, the tiny blob on a stick structures are involved in reproduction. The tiny blob on a stick structures are involved in reproduction. The blobs are sporangia, which contain cells or spores that can eventually develop into new rhizopus individuals. Look at the screen. This is spore formation in rhizopus. The spores are covered by thick walls that protect them until they come into contact with another moist surface and can begin to grow. The spores are covered by thick walls that protect them until they come into contact with another moist surface and can begin to grow. So dears, all the modes of reproduction that we have discussed so far allow new generations to be created from a single individual. It involves single individual, single parent. This is known as asexual reproduction. My dear students, I hope the content is clear for you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. We are going to wind up our class here. Thank you. Have a good day.